Hello, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Saturday morning ritual. How did you spend your time last week? How did you spend your time? Last week, we were talking about time and just knowing how we spend our time and what we're doing and all of the fun things. I'm really curious on how you spent your time over the last week. Getting to know yourself is so important. I say it all the time to really take an assessment of yourself and know how you're spending your time, how you're eating, what you're thinking. All these three things. Good morning. Good morning. Hello and welcome. All of these things are so important to know. So that is why I am curious about how you spent your time last week. So anyway, I just want to welcome you, welcome you to the Saturday morning ritual. Let's get this parties going. Let's get it started. It's the Saturday morning ritual. Welcome. And we got a problem going on here. Good morning, Lori and Cheryl and Missy and everyone who's joining. Don't do that. That was a little bit too much. Good morning. It was a little bit early there, but we got to welcome. We got to, I'm sure that are you guys getting your steps in? I'm part of a steps challenge. I'm trying to get my steps. And I know Misty's beating me like every second of the day. And I'm trying to catch up, and it's like impossible. This girl's nonstop. Anyway, brain body connection, because movement is our first language. We just need to wake up our bodies just a little bit so that we get our brain working as well as, get the blood flowing and everything, learning, thought, creativity, all intelligence, all that stuff. It's all connected, the brain and the body. So we're just going to get up. We're going to move our bodies for just a second, just to make sure you spent your week at the doctor trying to get and stay healthy. Oh no. Let's move our bodies. Oh, wait. Let's move our bodies. We're just going to step because it's all about the steps right now.
Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body.
Now we're done. Now we're done with the little bit of movement that we needed to do. Yay. Okay, we're awake. We're awake. We're awake. I love this. And she spent, oh, not that one. Gotta show up for my captain and crush our gold. I love that. Because I'm the captain of Team Drinkables. So yeah, movement is just so important. And the next thing that's really important is community, to have a place where you feel supported, where you feel safe, connected, like you belong. This is a place for you. We are not a small little clique. We are a friendly group, a large group of people. So come and join us and have a lot of fun with us. This is a place for us to learn and share all of the excellent, awesome things. Still didn't reach your goals, but I did better than last week. So that's a win for me. That is, yes, it is. That's a win. And we're going to talk about those victories in just a second. I spent my week getting things organized at my work from our big, yeah, that's a lot of work. I still got my workouts in too, which was a challenge since I was tired from the workday. Yeah, when your work like takes, you're doing something different than what you normally do, it can be quite exhausting. Quite exhausting. So we're gonna have a little moment to shine. It's part of the ritual. We got to think about what were our victories of the week. One of my favorite things to talk about is our victories of the week. And there is something that I want to share with you. So while you guys are typing in what your victories were from the past week, I want to share with you. So here we go. Something that I am going to share. Wait. Here we go.
And she said, Charlotte, what did you tell me about what you did when you were in the MRI machine? I'm sure all of you also deal with. But it just, so she said, so the feeling was you were overwhelmed. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, I felt overwhelmed. And she said, Charlotte, what did you tell me about what you did when you were in the MRI machine and you were getting anxious? I said, well, you know, I used my breathing techniques and it was phenomenal. She said, well, how about you try to just breathe? She said, you know, with anxiety will continue to build and build and build if you don't stop it. And I know that in my life, one of the biggest things that helps me is breathing, focusing and being present on each breath. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. You know, I'm going to focus on that. So, what I have been working on this week is when I feel anxious or I feel the first jolt of being unsure about something, then I have started taking deep breaths and focus on my breathing. So, yesterday, my husband and I were out running errands, getting things for our house, and we stopped and had brunch at the Toasted Yolk. I don't know if you guys have one near you, but it is so incredible. I love everything. I was like, yeah, let's get some breakfast food. You know, eggs, bacon, ham. That's all good stuff that, you know, is going to be easy for me to calculate, watch my calories. And so we got the menu, and the menu I took pictures of because you are not going to believe the stuff that these people make. Blueberry donuts topped with blueberry sauce. And I love Eggs Benedict. It's one of my favorite breakfast things. Well, their Eggs Benedicts have fried chicken, all these amazing toppings that you can get. And so the one thing I noticed, since my eating goal is to stay in a particular calorie deficit, they did not have any calorie amounts on the food, on the menu. I'm going to show you the proof. So I talked to the waitress and I said, I am so sorry to bother you, but is there any way that you could get me nutritional info? So she went to the manager and unfortunately they did not have any nutritional info. So I said, you know what, that's okay. So I started getting anxious. Will looked at me, he saw it. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, absolutely. I started taking some deep breaths, remembering just breathe. And I started looking at each individual option. And right in the bottom corner, in a smaller section, of course, they had some healthy bowls, some healthy breakfast bowls. So I chose the one that had quinoa, avocado, pico de gallo. It was a Southwestern feel, basically. And I'm going to show you a picture of it. It was so delicious. I loved it. I only ate half. And so then I had the other half for dinner last night. And I know we talk about, you know, celebrating the small wins. And to me, this was a huge win because these small wins help build up my confidence, knowing that I can do hard things. I can do kind of hard things, but I can do it and it's okay. And that means the world to me because
So I just wanted to celebrate her because that is a huge victory, a huge win. I have been at restaurants and felt that anxiousness of ordering the food. I have felt all of the emotions regarding fear of missing out or am I going to make the right choice? The nervousness, the butterflies you feel in your stomach, the conflict you feel within your own brain, like you want to make the right choice, but you also want something that's not necessarily the right choice. I have flat out cried at a restaurant because of the stress of ordering food. So this is a huge thing for her. She took a moment. She remembered to breathe. It's all going to be okay. there's something here that I can eat that is on plan that I'm going to be 100% satisfied with. Even she tracks calories. Everybody doesn't track their calories, but she wanted to do something that was within line with her. And she did it. And she's a rock star. And I wanted to celebrate her for her victory that she had this week. I reached out to her, made sure that it was okay that I shared that clip with you. But she's amazing. If you haven't, check her out. If you haven't already, subscribe to her because she's inspiring. She's becoming self-lit and she's amazing. So, so Misty's sharing, I have cried in restaurants when tracking calories. No fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. I've been, the annoying person that takes 30 minutes to figure out what it is they want to eat because they're trying to, this was back in my Weight Watchers days. And back then whenever I was a Weight Watcher person, we didn't have fancy little apps and phones that we carried around that had all the information. I had these booklets that were like this thick that I had to look up points in. So I'm like flipping through my book, trying to look up the points of the different things so that I made sure that I was eating within my allotted points for the day. So it took a long time. Oh, stressful. And they're just tapping like, I'm hungry. Can you hurry it up? And but we do what we can. And whenever we're, really, really focused. I've eaten there, no nutritional info, but delicious meals. I have not eaten there, but man, that menu looked so good. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, you've been eating to take your meds, even though you don't prefer eating. Well, that's good because you need to take your meds. Meds are good for you. Going to a doctor is a win for you. Definitely. I can see how that's a huge win because a lot of times we want to put off going to the doctor sometimes. We don't want to know the answers. There's like a part of us that's like, if I just put this off, then I don't have to deal with it. So it's a huge victory whenever we go, especially whenever we're faced with something kind of like that. Lorianne has another victory. One of her other victories was that she edited a video at work, and the company I work for decided to use it on their main social media. Wow, that's so cool. That's really exciting. How'd you like editing? Did you like editing? I love editing. I think editing is so much fun. One of the things that I hate about YouTube, I guess, I don't know. There's these experts that say that you're supposed to be like consistent with, fonts and colors and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. There's just too much fun stuff out there. And I have to use it all because it's fun and I enjoy it. And it's just like creativeness and whatever. So I cannot stick with anything for very long. I gotta switch it up. But I love editing. I think it's so much fun. So much fun. So you guys are awesome. So awesome. When you think about what your victories were, do you have any habits in place that really helped you to have that victory? Do you have any habits in place that helped you? So Charlotte, in this example today, Charlotte's working on the habit of just taking a breath. She's working on building this small habit of a pause to relax herself. It's all going to be okay. She's just like, it's all going to be okay. I've got this, just centering herself and making a good choice. That's a great habit. A lot of times we might find ourselves in the habit of just randomly selecting something because we don't want to inconvenience anyone. So she's working on this wonderful habit. But our habits evolve over time. So the next question I want to ask you is, how has that habit evolved over time? Maybe it started one way, but right now it looks completely different from where it started, because we're going to get into it. We're going to get it whenever we get a topic of the week, because I said that, weight loss goals are making you feel tired and overwhelmed, I'm going to tell you all about habits and how to build habits so that you don't feel tired and overwhelmed. I've got some great secrets, and my friends that are joining with me today, they also have some great secrets. So we're going to share those coming up here in just a minute. But first, we are going to journal about what habits helped you with your victory this week, and how has that habit kind of evolved over time. So let's just take a second to think about that. All right. I was getting steps in the little thing instead of journaling. I know that you guys are all journaling, but I have these questions in my journal every single day. So I was journaling on those all week. Anyway, just FYI, thought you guys should know. So let's talk about really quick before, we need to talk about our pitfalls, our setbacks, our, sand traps, potholes, whatever you want to call them. Those little things that maybe we think that we could have done a teensy little bit better. Ooh, I have started a personal to-do list. It helps me not ruminate on things once I can get them out of the brain. Yes. Oh, I have a constant running to-do list, but it does. I can always tell myself whenever it's time to go to sleep at night, my brain doesn't keep working because I can say it's on the list. There's nothing to worry about until we wake up. It's on the list. I did that this morning by putting my phone down and reading a book. Yes. Need to figure out how to do that during the week. Love making lists. Sometimes we can get too carried away with making our lists that we never get anything done because we're so busy making lists. Has that ever happened to you? Is that something? So any setbacks this week? Any setbacks? I did not have a setback this week, but I guess I should have shared this during the victory part. I was so proud of myself because a common setback that I have, it was a habit. That was going to be my question. Is your setback actually a habit? Is it something that you do repeatedly over and over again? I had a bad habit of once creativity sparks in my brain and I want to work on a project, that I let all of my goals go to the wayside. I'm not getting my steps. I'm not eating right. I'm not doing my sleep. I'm nothing because I want to work on this project. That's what I want to do. And this week I had a spark of creativity and I cannot wait. I'm going to be doing a 4-part series on this new fun project that I'm working on. It is not at all weight loss related, but it's exciting to me. And I'm going to share it with you all because I like sharing stuff with you. So you get to look forward to seeing that. But what I did was I set a timer and I said, you are only allowed to work on it for this long. And then you can go, you finish all of your to-dos. Once you've got your steps in, once you've had your meal, one, as long as you go to bed on time, then you can work on it some more, but you can only work on it for 60 minutes. And I did it. I followed through. I controlled myself. And I am so proud of myself. I mean, I'm sorry. It's the little things in life, really, but it really does make me so proud to have that victory, to have resisted that habit that I have to do that. And it was huge. It was huge to me. So if you had a setback and you just don't want to share it, maybe you have a habit of having a before bedtime snack, or maybe you have a habit of having a midnight snack, and it's something that you're trying to, stop. Is it a habit? Think about the things that, aren't 100% consistent with your goals. And is it something that you're doing routinely? Is it showing up for you not every week, but frequently, like every other week or every third week? Maybe it's cycle really, who knows? But see if there is a habit there. So I just want you to take a minute here. We're going to do a little bit of journaling time so that you can think about your, little things that send you off track. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. Think about them and think about if they're a habit or not. And if there's a small progression that you can make in order to make it go away.
See it in your mind, trust that. Have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it. You had great patience, but something knocked you out. You felt your limitations and filled your mind with doubt. You wanna stay chill right now, and don't let your eyes off the prize. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that. Have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it.
All right. It's back to this. Woo-hoo. I just had to put that little plug in there for myself. Sharing is caring. Don't forget to share the stream if you love it, so that we can get more people to see it and join us and have this great, wonderful Saturday morning ritual, which is such an important part of my life, to take this moment out to review the week that I just had, to celebrate myself, to think of strategies that I can use to help and better myself, to have that roadmap toward my goals and make sure that, I'm checking to make sure that I'm on track. I'm headed there. I'm laser focused. So the topic of the week this week, that's the next thing in the Saturday morning ritual. We're talking about, is your weight loss goal making you feel overwhelmed and tired? There's so many different ways of weight loss, and I don't think any one is wrong or right. Everybody is different. We all have to do this in a way that works for us. But there's, people that are promoting diets like this one. This chick was like, if I wanted to lose 100 pounds, this is what I would do. I would not eat any processed foods, and I would count all of my macros. I'm not going to have any soda or sugary drinks. I'm going to remove all caffeine. I'm going to meal prep, but maybe I might have a delivery service once or twice. And then I'm going to fast, and then I'm going to exercise with strength training, but I'm going to do lots of walking. That's mandatory, as well as a cardio workout in addition to that walking, and I'm going to eliminate all lifestyle stress. Okay, now if I was a person that needed to lose 100 pounds and you told me that that's what I need to do in order to lose weight, I am going to feel overwhelmed. How the heck do you think I'm going to be able to do all of that? Oh, that's crazy. That is absolutely insanity to me. Now, is it great for a long-term goal? Yeah, it is great. That's somewhere with that's what I aspire to be. That's someday down the road, I want to get to that. But you're saying that I want to lose some weight and I wake up tomorrow and I need to implement all of this. How long do you think, you go from being sedentary, eating processed foods, having soda and caffeine and eating 3 meals a day and snacks and not exercising at all, and then you try to implement all of that? How long do you think it is before you're like, this sucks? I can't do this. This is impossible. None of that is impossible, but it is impossible if you try to just throw it and make it mandatory for yourself every single day, like right out of the gate. It's also like 75 hard. Why do you think that there are so many people that are like, let's do 75 soft or 75 medium, or let's just do it for 60 days, or I'm going to change the rules in this way or that way or whatever way? Follow a nutrition plan designed for your goals with 0 alcohol and no cheat meals. If you don't do that, then, you're wrong. You're bad. You failed. Start over. Complete 2 45-minute workouts every day. 1 must be outside. It's 15 degrees outside. I did walk the dog this morning, though, even though it's 15 degrees. Drink a gallon of water every single day. Read 10 pages of an educational or self-improvement book every day, and take a progress picture every single day. It's like so much. Yes, we've got lives, we've got jobs, we've got kids, we've got family, we've got pets, we've got all this stuff that we got to do. And that's a lot to take on if you're not used to doing anything. And that's why the big secret to success is small changes over time. I know that's how I feel. Even though most days I do that, except for the progress picture. I don't need to take a progress picture every day. I don't know what that whole thing is about. But anyway, most days I do that. But by saying that if I miss one single day, that's no good. I know that that's not the idea, but a lot of people are perfectionists. A lot of people feel that that's the right way to think. And this is just promoting perfectionist thinking, which is not right. It's, what you can do today. At least you're still trying. If you try 75 hard and you've tried it like 20 times and you can never get to 75 days, all that does is whittle down your self-esteem and make you feel like you're not good enough, like you're not awesome, like you're not amazing. And you are. Just because you can't do something for 75 days in a row doesn't mean anything about you. So that's my only thing. I love all of the tasks. I think they're great tasks. I just hate the 75 part of it. Just try and do it. And if you do it, great. And if you don't, so what? So what? But so that's my whole rant there. The most things that we have learned to do in our lives, they required a progression. When you first took on, say, cooking, could you make whatever your favorite meal is Misty who's here today, whenever she first started making bread, was her first loaf of bread the best bread? Or has she perfected? Has she made progress in her baking? And is her bread that she makes today better than when she first started making bread? When you learn to speak a new language, You don't just decide that you're going to learn a new language and the next day you're speaking it fluently. There's a progression. So we need to think of progressions whenever it comes to this healthy lifestyle that we want to embody, because it's not just about, oh, I'm going to lose the weight and then you're going to go back to your old lifestyle. What's going to happen when you go back to your old lifestyle after you lose the weight? You're going to gain it back. So we need to embrace this new healthy lifestyle. In order to do that, it's easier if we are to make progressions throughout everything. So what I want to do right now is, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I want to do this. I want to take a look at this little thing here. Yes, here we go. Share, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. So here we've got this random guy, and I hope you guys can see that pretty well. I don't want that. Go away. Okay. Hope you can see that pretty good. Random person. Here he's got an assessment. I love assessments. Sorry, I love assessments. So he's taken his daily schedule and he's written down everything that he does. I actually like 75 days of consistency. It's the tasks I don't want to stay consistent with. Exactly. If you like 75 days, then just change up the tasks. Everybody's just making it their own anyway. I don't like 75 days of consistency because I always find that there's like one day that I can't do it for whatever reason. There's something that's going to block me. So here he's brand new. He's taking an assessment. What we're going to do today is we're going to, kind of help him make small changes. So if you've got this guy here, he sleeps from, about 11 p.m. Midnight until about 7 a.m. because he had snoozed a whole bunch. And then at 7 a.m., he rushes 40 minutes to get out the door. Oh my. And then to 20-minute drive to work, and he stops for coffee and a sausage croissant at the gas station, maybe, I don't know, wherever he's going. And then he works, and then he goes to lunch with coworkers, and he had a cheeseburger, large fries, and 6 nuggets. And then he went back to work. Good for him. He went back to work. I'm so proud of him for going back to work. Sometimes you don't want to. And then at 3 o'clock, the 3 o'clock slump, he had chips and a Kit Kat. And then he worked some more. And he got off work and he had a 20-minute drive home and he watched the news. And then he cooked some dinner. He had Hamburger Helper that he added some tomatoes to. He checked the mail and he talked with his neighbor, watched TV. And then he watched some more TV and snacked on Pop-Tarts. And then he did a video game. And then he had some alone time. So he just checked Discord and Twitch and did some email stuff. And then finally he was like, okay, I got to go to bed. So he took out the trash and he brushed his teeth and he went to bed. What is a small change that you, being a professional or non-professional, just somebody that you think you know, what is a small change that you think that you might first suggest to this person who this is their schedule, their routine? What is the suggestion? So I just think that if we all took a minute and looked at our life and what we do on a daily basis, we're pretty routine creatures of habit. We do things the same way, Monday through Fridays, or Saturday and Sundays might be a little bit different. There we go. Simple. Walk while watching TV. You don't have to change the TV part. You can still watch TV. Let's just move a little bit while we're watching the TV. That is the simplest of habits. That is a very small change, a super easy change that do you think, oh man, I can't do just for 20 minutes? Like, that's a super easy change. Like, he didn't mention anything about water. Maybe he just didn't even think about listing his beverages on here, but Maybe he wanted to add in some water into his day. How can he add some water? So as soon as he gets up, maybe he has a drink of water. Maybe before he goes to lunch with his coworkers, he has a glass of water. Water is something that we can use as a progression as well. If you're somebody that does not drink any water at all, I would never tell you that you should be drinking a gallon of water a day. That's just crazy talk. That's crazy talk. I would say, can you start with 20 ounces? Can you make a goal 20 ounces? And once you've successfully done 20 ounces for a couple of weeks, let's go up to 40. And once you've done that for a couple of weeks, let's go up to 60. It's a progression. Set the alarm. Let's avoid the snooze. There are studies out there that say that the snooze button is, thank you, Misty. The snooze button is bad for sleep. It does not, you are actually not getting the quality sleep that you think that you are getting during those snoozes. My husband would argue with me. I could show him all the studies. He loves his snooze sleeps. But there are studies that show that you're not getting the best sleep. So that is a great thing. You see how you feel. Write about it. Give yourself a rating, and see how you felt whenever you hit the snooze versus when you don't hit the snooze. Could be one way. I don't hit the snooze anymore. So sleep. That's a great progression that he can do in order to get more sleep, because we're supposed to be getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I think 8's ideal. So if we're going to change into a healthier lifestyle, that's something that we're going to want to work on. So we're going to kind of figure out what steps are going to get us there. If his exercise, he mentions nothing about exercise. So Misty had a great tip to, I keep pointing at my screen like you guys can see it. That's silly. Yep. I agree. Wow, there we go. I have such smart people with me. I just love it. Misty mentioned a great exercise progression. Let's just start to get up and move a little bit. You don't have to do extreme steps. You don't have to sprint in place. Just a little bit of walking. Just a little bit of walking in place. Let's just move just a little bit. What about the food that he's eating? What is a very small progression regarding the food that we were looking at here? What is a small progression with some of the food that this person could possibly easily make? So here he's having a sausage croissant. Here he's going with coworkers. Maybe he could, not order all of the things. He could maybe just order 2 of the things versus 3 of the things. Maybe he could add in some additional vegetables here. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with the foods that he's eating at all. I don't demonize food. I don't think there's good foods, and I don't think there's bad foods. I just think there's, sometimes better foods. And so we just want to make small changes to those foods. But like this one diet that's saying, cut out all processed foods, everything this person is eating is processed foods. And if they're going to go from completely no processed foods, that's going to be overwhelming. And their odds of success is going to be a lot smaller, because that change is hard. It's hard. If you have a day where you're just worn out or whatever, and now you feel like you failed because you had a processed food because you went for convenience versus, all that other stuff. Ooh, how is that's a good thing to put whenever if you're going to do a an assessment like this, include in there. How did you feel? Look at it for like a whole week. And I'm going to put this little I'm going to put this daily schedule, a blank one, on my website. So at adventuresofdeanna.com. So if you need a blank schedule, I'm going to eliminate that step for you. It probably won't be up until later today because I haven't done it yet. But I'll put that there. If you want to do a daily assessment for like track your everything for like a week and say, okay, now I can see what my routines are. Now I can see what my habits are. Now I can see what I'm eating. What small changes can I make? That's all we need to do is take a look at, what do I think is my next level up? What's going to make me a little bit better next week? But by writing it all down, don't rely on your memory. Don't rely on your memory. We forget things all the time. How are you going to remember how much you slept, how much you worked, how you felt throughout the day? Like all of these things, it's hard to remember them all. So if we write them down, then we can remember that. You can put it in a notes app in your phone. There's so many different ways we can do this. So many different ways. But then you just look at it and you see what are your habits? What are your routines? What are the easy places to make changes? And ask yourself, how willing am I to make this change? Because sometimes there are changes that we're just not willing to do yet. And it's not to say that you're never going to be willing to do that change. It's just that you're not willing to make it yet. And that's fine. It's okay. Let's work on what we're willing to do. Let's work with ourselves instead of against ourselves. Instead of doing things that we hate, make us feel miserable. How's that going to work out in the long term? For doing something we absolutely hate. Thinking of how food fuels my body more so than how it tastes has helped me a lot. Yeah. I get enjoyment other places, like total, like think about that. How much enjoyment did I get out of this? And the thing with meals is that eating is done. How long does it take to eat? It doesn't take very long to eat. Not long at all. How long does it take to do, play a game of tennis? How long does it take to roller skate? How long does it take to skateboard? How long does it take to bike? And what enjoyment do you get out of those? Going on a walk. I enjoy walks. I enjoy walks a whole bunch. So I always talk about them. But any of those activities that, how much do you enjoy it? The eating stuff is really not that enjoyable. It's done so fast, really. So it's kind of like, well, what else? It's just over. So many times we eat too fast and we're not even enjoying our food. That's another thing. Maybe you're noticing that it only took you 3 minutes to eat, and maybe you need to slow down when you eat. Have you ever timed yourself when you eat? Do you know how long it takes for your stomach to know that you're full versus your brain? It's like 20 minutes or something like that. 20 minutes before your stomach knows that you've had enough to eat. So it's really easy to overeat if we're eating way too fast and we're relying just for our stomach to tell us we're full. Some food, something to think about. So think about the small habits that you can progress on. I think that there's always a little bit of room for improvement. I don't know anybody who has totally excelled at everything. And if it's not in the weight loss realm, maybe your routine is perfect. Maybe your routine is perfect and your eating is perfect and your water is perfect and your sleep is perfect. What else can you work on? Because working on goals is fun. because it's just shows you progress. It's like something to aspire to. It's like, I don't know. I love it. I enjoy it. I think it's great. So regardless if I've got my whole morning routine perfect and my night routine perfect, and I'm at my wiggle and everything's going awesome, I want to learn how to speak another language. I'm going to learn how to do something cool. I'm going to, something to try and, just better myself. Now that my stomach is small, I typically weigh my food so you don't overeat, because it's just an easy way. Especially if if your stomach is small, there's so many good reasons to weigh our food. Some people find it's tedious and annoying and whatever. It's all about our mindset, really. It's our perception, and we can change that. We can change the way we think about things. We can change things. So we want to make a plan for the week. What's our plan for the week? This is the thing. We're here to make a plan for the week. Take a few minutes. What are we going to eat this week? Do we have any challenges this week? It's so cold. Is it cold? It's cold here. And that is a challenge, because I have to get myself to go on the walks a little bit more than I normally would, because it's cold. But I know that once I go out and do it, I'm going to love it. Do you have any social engagements planned that are going to be challenging? Do you have any work things that are going to make you tired? So you're going to maybe plan different meals. Knowing these things about ourselves, knowing that, I'm going to be tired and I'm not going to want to make X, Y, Z, but I know that I have this other meal that only takes like 10 minutes. It's easy to make. I'll totally want to do that. Knowing these things is so helpful, and just planning in advance for them. Very, very helpful. Also, just have a few convenience meals that are really, easy for you to throw together in the event you have unexpected I don't want tos come up. Plan for those unexpected I don't want tos. So the weather, it's always a challenge, but take a minute, plan it out for the day. Think about, is there any progressions that I want to make with my healthy habits? Are there any progressions that I can make? So let's just, I have to switch this over really quick, and then we can do our little journaling practice. Share and journal time. Excellent day.
Took some time, but we pointed out that tomorrow isn't here right now, baby. An absent mind came to roam around. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go. Bumps in the road, many obstacles. But when we fall, we get up and go, baby. The way they think is paradoxical. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go.
So in a video coming up, I don't do the journaling questions live when we're on the air. I do them in my journal throughout the week. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I just kind of write the questions out and I answer them every single day. I have a different journaling question that I like to answer. So I thought it was better for me to kind of do steps while we're doing it since I'm not actually writing. So that's, I'm going to try and do that more so that you guys, if you're not a journaler and you just want to get up and do some steps with me, maybe, that's something that you want to do. But, let's make a plan for the week. Let's make an awesome week. Let's think about what are these small little progressions that we can, make to just be more awesome than we are today. Because today you're pretty awesome, by the way, if you didn't know. I think you're awesome. I just want you to remember to stay curious, stay determined. Until next time, keep writing, keep exploring, and keep losing those extra pounds. I want to see you guys in the next video. I want to thank you so much for being here today. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye. I didn't think of that.
Come on, your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come on, your body. Come on, your body.